Data from the International Air Transport Association for Air Freight Markets in August 2016 showed that demand measured in freight ton kilometers rose 3.9% year-on-year worldwide, except in Latin America. Here in Africa, carriers saw demand rebound sharply in August to about 3.7%, the fastest growth in 12 months. But experts say this rebound certainly excludes Nigeria, as cargo imports remain on the low, but a steady rise in exports. Come along with us as we x-ray the cargo subsector on Aviation this week on Channels Television. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bukola Joe Uketumbi.
This is the site at any typical air cargo warehouse. It's usually a beehive of activity. Packing, stacking and storing. Air cargo is usually any property carried or to be carried in an aircraft. Air cargo comprises air freight and air mail. Air freight plays a critical role in global trade, transporting some 35% of goods traded internationally. Cargo types include perishable goods. These goods, when not kept under certain conditions, are affected in a way that compromises their essential qualities. They include fruits, flowers and vegetables, among others. Valuable goods are any that include gold, platinum, banknotes, and they are usually kept specially. Dangerous goods are articles or substances that may pose risk to human health, safety, security, property, or the environment. Types of dangerous goods include explosives such as firecrackers, fireworks, ammunition, and bullets, among other things. Live animals which are domesticated or otherwise not kept in cages or packaging that are suitable and safe. Cargo most times are transported by passenger aircraft, which use the spare volume in the airplane's baggage hold. That's the belly of the aircraft that is not being used for passenger luggage. A common practice used by passenger airlines who additionally transport cargo on scheduled passenger flights. This practice is known as belly cargo. Cargo can also be transported in the passenger cabin as carry-on or an onboard courier. There are cargo aircraft dedicated for the job. They carry freight on the main deck and in the belly by means of nose loading or side loading. Combi aircraft carries cargo on the main deck behind the passengers area with side loading and in the belly. While air travel helps to move cargo quickly across continents and within countries, the International Air Transport Association says data for global air freight markets in August of 2016 shows that demand, measured in freight ton kilometers, rose by 3.9% year-on-year. The IATA report indicates that industry conditions had improved since the particularly soft patch at the start of 2016. It said carriers in all regions except Latin America reported an increase in year-on-year demand in August. However, regional results varied considerably. For the third time in 4 months, airlines based in Europe posted the highest collective annual growth of all regions. African carriers, however, saw demand rebound sharply in August to 3.7%, which is the fastest growth in 12 months. Despite this, freight capacity continues to outstrip demand due to rapid long-haul expansion. IATA's Director General and CEO Alexandre de Ginac said the August numbers showed improvements in cargo demand. He added that while this is good news, the underlying market conditions make it difficult to have long-term optimism. World trade volumes fell by 1.1% in July, with no improvement on the horizon. He insists economies need to grow out of the current economic doldrums, and governments should be focused on promoting trade, not raising protectionist barriers.
Our guest runs one of the aviation handling companies in the country, and he believes that it may be time to crash import tariffs as well as push exports further.
Cargo plays a very important role, and it's normally broken down as air cargo, shipping cargo, road transport, rail, of which about 35% of the world cargo is carried by air. And it's a huge business. About $50 billion of cargo is normally carried in a year. Nigeria at the moment, things are not as good as it has to be. Cargo is declining, though there is a growth process of about 3.5 to 4% of growth expected worldwide on cargo. But as we look at Nigeria, the various factors that are linking to it, but it's not as good as it should be. Well, I think for a country like Nigeria, unfortunately, there's so much that can be done out here. I think the government plays a very important role in doing that. There are various factors that are affecting the cargo business as of today. The time of the year, the time of economic crisis that is there, the government should actually open up. They should encourage imports in the first place, because since we don't manufacture too much over here and we don't export too much over here, so people like you and me have to rely on imports. And if the imports are there, the people have problem with Forex to get the imports in. After the imports come in, there's a very high custom duty that goes into it. All those factors put into place is discouraging the importers, number one, to get stuff in. It's difficult for stuff to get in because of the high duty and everything. By the time the goods reach the customer, it's very high. I think in the last 6 months, every commodity that we used to buy is almost doubled. And as we go further down, because of the fluctuation in the dollar component, things are going to be, it's looking bleak at the moment. So there are a lot of factors the government should really look at, encourage imports, so the more the stuff gets into the country, till the time we really get into manufacture and get into made in Nigeria stuff, you'll have to allow imports. And to allow imports, you'll have to open up the Forex. You'll have to reduce custom duties so that people are encouraged to bring more into the country till such time, we start manufacturing. The initiative by the government is good, but there's a long way to go, because by just making terminals won't help. Okay, it's good that it's a first step forward, but you cannot be growing vegetables or doing exports out of Lagos. It will be somewhere in the villages where the farmers have the land, the fertile land, the manpower. Do you have the infrastructure of the roads? Are the roads safe and secure for the goods to come in into Lagos or Abuja or Kano to be exported out? Yes, this is the time with the fuel crisis on. The best thing for the government to do is to promote exports, which it's trying to do, but it's not enough, because apart from the infrastructure, you need a lot of things. Today, you cannot export a lot of stuff that's made in Nigeria to Europe or the US, because there are a lot of certifications that come into the process, the quality of the products that would count, the packaging that will count. So I think we're still lagging quite behind, and it's high time that, the government has to wake up. They have to play a very important role in encouraging the farmers, encouraging small-scale industries for packaging, improve the infrastructure, roadways and stuff, have freezers and cold room facilities for the farmers. So there are a lot of steps that they need to take till the time the terminals are built. So it's a good time to balance both. One side, you make your terminals, airports, user-friendly cargo terminals there, but simultaneously have these things in process. So at least we can target by, okay, next year or the year after that, we are fully ready to go into full-fledged exports. So what we have is a few vegetables like okra or some pumpkin leaves or something, which is more for the Nigerians abroad. It's not generic. Like there's some little yam going out, but that's hardly anything if you look at exports. Last I was in some other African countries where they've got huge terminals built only for exports, for perishables. We have the facility here, but they lie empty because there's not much going out of here. It's not produced so much. Whatever is produced is not packed so much. They don't have certifications. So we can do it. 60% of it goes to the West African coast. So it's acceptable there. The tightest is the European side and the US side. So since stuff don't go there, there's no certification as yet. Surprising that the yam produced in Nigeria goes to Ghana, repacked, and goes as a Ghanaian yam. So we have still a lot of things that can be done, but it has to be promoted well. The movement has to be done. You have to have some enlightenment of the farmers who should be given a lot of benefits, because these guys need benefits too. They have just come out of that oil age. So to let them know that this is the way you're going to move forward, so you need a lot of government help into that. If you can do it well, if you can pack it well, if you can get through the right processes out of here, you can do it from here. So, because they don't have a good packing facility probably, they don't have the certification processes here. It goes to another country, it's packed beautifully, it's certified over there because they have certifying bodies in there, so it's accepted. So we try our best of giving discounts to people to bring in stuff, So we are actually at the mercy of the importers and the exporters, because we are just handlers.
When we return, Newsflash will be next. Do join us again.